this is one of the things that is really, I really, really, really cannot stress this enough. And people don't understand. People don't understand when I say this. Like, it's not like if you have Caitlin Clark on your team, you have to, and I mean have to, if you are her teammate, if you're a coach and you're playing Caitlin Clark on the floor, you have to insist and double and triple down on the pace, because it is it can be a waste having Caitlin Clark in a slow it down game because she's not very good at it. Like, she's not very good at it. And like, I thought in a slow, like, this is actually one of the better slow down performances I've seen from Caitlin Clark. It actually is. Like, if you look in the WNBA and when teams make games against Fever in the 70s, how bad Caitlin Clark tends to be. The Valks did it twice. The Storm did it once. Like, it is what it is. And we saw it today. Like, I don't know if it was, I think it was tactical. I think it was tactical that, that they slowed it down. I think it was a little bit tactical that they slowed it down. They moved away from the pick and roll in the half court. Because in fairness, like, Puerto Rico wanted to take Caitlin out. I'm not going to make my full rewatching of how they guarded Caitlin Clark and what way things worked. And based on my opinion of just watching the game without rewatching it and doing any analysis, it seemed like Puerto Rico literally did not care about who scored as long as it wasn't Caitlin Clark. And all they wanted to do was get the ball out of her hands. And her teammates kind of allowed her to do that, which is why it's like, I'm just like, I don't hate it because it's a bad team. But I'm like, you can tell decision-making wise, Angel Reese is not that good a decision maker. I think she's an okay passer. I think what Angel Reese can do is, you saw it once, where I can't remember, maybe it was it the Copper? Where she got it down low and she can pass. She made a pass to the cutter. I think she's a good passer, but like, I don't think she's a great decision maker. I think if she can see a pass and make a pass, I don't think she sees 1, 2, 3 phases of play ahead like a Caitlin Clark can. So it's like, Team USA was so comfortable in slowing it down and taking it out of Caitlin Clark's hands. And with the way the defense was, they basically just denied Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin just stood in the corner. Stood on the wing. She just kind of stood there. And it's one of those things where it's like, do you blame... It's hard because it's like, do you blame her teammates for not getting her the ball when she's being denied? Or is it just a situation where this is Team USA, we're cool going 4v4? You have to kind of look at it in both ways, where it's like what they want to do. And I personally think it just depends on the lineup. But in a slow it down game where a team is trying to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands, like, I think this is going to happen a lot. Like, it's not one of those things where, like in the WNBA, where it should be very clear to a coach, you get the ball in Caitlin's hands, it doesn't matter. Because you should have good decision makers on USA. Someone says, why you teach Caitlin to play off the ball? It literally doesn't matter if you are being shadowed. You can be the greatest off-ball player in the world. If you are being shadowed and the other team is effectively box and oneing you, if they are full court pressing to get the ball out of your hands and they are box and oneing you so that they can slow down everything and just screw with how you play, it's like there's not much you can do. And it's at the stage where it's on the others. It's kind of on the others. And look, against this Puerto Rico team, it worked. But that is the one kind of thing I'd be kind of a little bit iffy about. Is the US post-game show or Clark show? Pretty much the Clark show. Yeah. This is my channel. It's pretty much the Clark show. Let's be real. If Caitlin Clark wasn't on this team, no one would be watching this. So yeah, there's 650 people in here to watch Caitlin Clark. Let's be real. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, there's very much a different lineup. And it's like you can see when it comes down to it when the team plays fast. When you've got like like you even saw it yesterday. There were a couple of times in the game where when Senegal scored, Paige Bueckers is sprinting to the corner because she knows the ball's getting inbound to Caitlin, and if I sprint to the corner, long pass. Monique Billings is sprinting the floor. Whereas, like in this type of a scenario where I thought Puerto Rico were able to slow them down too easily. I thought Puerto Rico was able to slow Puerto Rico are not good enough to be able to slow down Team USA. Like, I actually don't think Puerto Rico should have been good enough to do that. And they did. They slowed the tempo down, and all they had to do was run a shitty 2-2-1 press into a 2-3 zone. And it worked. There has to be some initiative. And it's not like, you can see the amount of times. There was a time in the game where where Kelsey Plum took off running like Paige. And I think it was I don't know who it was. But somebody inbounded the ball to Diarra Hamby instead of Caitlin Clark. And I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? I'm like, Caitlin is about to launch the ball long to Kelsey Plum, and you decided to inbound the ball because Caitlin Clark it looks like there's a defender near Caitlin Clark, so you inbounded the ball to Hamby, who threw it back to the inbounder. And I'm like, they're not set up in their press. You have got to play with that sharpness. And they didn't. They didn't. And if a team is not playing with that sharpness, like when it comes down to it, like I mean this in like a pot. I'm trying to say this without saying it too negative, but it's like, if everybody is bullshitting and slowing it down and just playing nonsense basketball, you sit Caitlin on the bench. Like in a real game in this scenario, if a team is able to drag USA into a dogfight, especially with the bodies Team USA have, and I'm not saying you bench her for Chelsea Gray or anything, but I'm like, if a team is able to make it into a shitty, because like against a good team, this is USA aren't scoring more than 65 points playing the way they did today. Against any sort of a competent team, they're not scoring more than 65. And in these type of games, it's like, you don't play Caitlin. You can't play Caitlin in these type of games, especially if it's the way the players are playing around her. And that is so frustrating, is that like, it's why I dislike Stephanie White so much as a coach for Caitlin Clark. And this is the style of ball. By the way, it's the style of ball that nearly got the Fever to the finals. We are going to drag you down to our level. And like, they allowed Puerto Rico to drag them down to their level. And Caitlin's not very good at that. And that's why I'm so worried about Steph White with Caitlin Clark. It's why I'm so worried. Because this style of basketball, Caitlin's terrible at it. Like, it's not terrible compared to her fast play. Like, she's just objectively bad. Like, Erica Wheeler is a better slow it down point guard than Caitlin Clark. But like, you're now looking at a situation where it's like the team is just, you kind of just hope. You hope that this is a lull. You hope that this is like Cara Lawson just experimenting. You hope that, the player's missing Caitlin Clark on a lot of passes, a lot of hits. You're just hoping that this is like a one-off. And this is not something that is like regularly a thing. But at the end, and then we saw bits of her at the end. When the game opened up a little bit in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, we saw what Caitlin Clark has the ability to do and what she can do. And yeah, look, I am not too worried about this game. It's Puerto Rico. It doesn't matter. It is going to be an interesting thing to see what happens when they face a good team tomorrow. Like, they are facing a genuinely, like, more than competent Italy team. And an Italy team that, like, if USA play like this, not that they'll lose, but like Italy will be competitive with them. If they play like they did today, Spain will beat them. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, if USA play like they did today and bullshit, Spain will beat them. And I'm hoping, again, when it comes down to it for Caitlin, that they're able to find ways of, getting her playing faster. They're able to find ways of getting her to initiate that style of ball. And my hope is that the bullshit the Puerto Rico were doing to kind of almost to just slow down Caitlin was just that. That it was like, okay, like we have too much talent. We will allow you to make this a 4v4 game because we'll win. Like that's a big thing. That is a really, really big thing.